In this video, we are going to talk about some tips on getting the most out of this course. Now, the first tip that I have for you, very, very obvious, is actually take the time to complete the course. This is my number one tip, believe it or not. It's very simple. Do the course. So I see a lot of people actually never even start the course. I see a lot of people start the course, get into it, but never finish. I get it. Things come up, you see the course, you buy it, you have a lot of good intentions, you want to learn this stuff. I cannot cram the information into your head. I put a lot of effort in this, but you actually need to take the time and participate in the course to get the information and the full benefit out of the course. So I do want to see you succeed in it. That's why I'm saying, hey, you actually need to take the course. Now, I do get it. Life gets busy. I've got a crazy schedule myself. I totally get that. I want to give you one pro tip here. Now, this is something that I do for myself. I will plan time on my calendar. I'll make a meeting with myself saying, I want to do this. So if I'm taking a course, I will actually make a meeting and say for these 2 hours on Friday afternoon, I am working on that course. Or for these 2 hours on a Saturday afternoon, I am working on building a course for you guys. So very important. A little time management will go a long way. So that is my pro tip. But for the most benefit out of this course, you need to actually take the course. Now, GitHub, everything, all the source code examples are going to be inside of GitHub. That is there for you. I've put a lot into this. If you are new to GitHub, I suggest seeing Appendix A. I've put additional information there for people that are new to GitHub. I get a lot of different skills going through this. Some people are very familiar with GitHub. Some people don't even know how to spell GitHub. So I can't address everything inside the course, but there's some really good resources there. So if you are new to GitHub, please check those out. Typically what I will do is I'm going to use branches, and I'll have a starting branch for a lesson and then an ending branch for the lesson. So you need to be comfortable with branches inside of GitHub and checking those out. And this will give you different states in that. And I do this because it allows me to go back. If there's any errors, I can check out that branch and update it. So I may go in and update a release where there's not a significant change, but I wanted to address something, or maybe I did make a small error and I want to add something and carry it forward. And that is a way that I can manage it using branches. But for you, a very important tip is, as you are working through it, you can actually compare your code to a specific branch. So inside the IDE, there's tools to say, I have my working copy of it and I want to compare it to a specific branch, and your IDE is smart enough to tell you exactly what is different. So this is a really great way to learn more from the course. So if you're struggling with something where I have it working fine, take a look at the source code and do a compare. Chances are maybe you're missing just a single character. So very important stuff there, so you can see the exact changes between the branches. Now, I do get a lot of questions on how to work with GitHub. What I like to recommend is when you start into the class, the repositories, I'll have a number of repositories in the class. Go ahead and fork those to your own GitHub account. So GitHub's free. You don't need to spend any money for it. So you can set up a GitHub account, fork from my repository. It's a public repository. I do have an open source license on stuff, so I don't have a problem with anybody doing that. Go ahead, fork it, and then follow the lessons and actually do the coding. So you are going to get a lot of benefit out of actually doing the coding. And then if you do run into trouble, remember, you can actually compare your source code back to the lesson branches to see what is different. And as you build up, you can take my examples and fork them to your GitHub repository. You can show this to a future employer. So as you're going through the course, I'm sure that people are trying to get skills for a future job. You can actually use this and say, hey, you build up an asset inside your GitHub account saying, this is my code. This is stuff that I did. I did this for a class. And so employers can actually see what you've been working on. Now, a very cool feature of this course, you can optionally request access. I do have a Slack community. So Spring Framework Guru's Slack community there. You can get access to this. I'm setting up a chat room specifically for this course. It'll be exclusive to this course. You can only get into that chat room by being enrolled in this course. So I do have it for my Spring 5 course, and at the time of recording, we are well over 3,000 people in there. It's becoming a really thriving community, which is absolutely awesome. People from around the world are taking the course, believe it or not. There's about 8 hours every day that I sleep, and I'm not online. I promise you, not doing that when I'm sleeping. Some might argue that I do, but from around the world, people are in there. Students are asking questions, and other students are helping them out. So you'll see some great participation. Early on with this course, I know it's going to take some time to build it up, but the Slack community is awesome. You get real-time collaboration. I'm online a lot. If I'm there, I'll try to help you out right away. Others are going to be in there as well, so you can get a lot of help. And it's not just for help. You can say, hey, I need help with the course, share projects, show off something cool you're working on, have a question completely not related to the course, just something for the community, or you can just say, hi, there's going to be literally people from around the world in there. Now, if you're interested in that, there's a module in section 1 of the course that has instructions on how to join it. It'll take you to a link for you to sign up, and then you'll get an invitation to the Slack community. Next up, I do offer a free IntelliJ trial. I have a partnership with JetBrains, the company behind IntelliJ, which is the most popular Java IDE right now. I always run IntelliJ Ultimate. This is a paid version. I can get you a 120-day free trial for it. IntelliJ or JetBrains does ask that one person per email. So if you've enrolled with IntelliJ or JetBrains before, you may need to use a different email account if possible. But that is one caveat there. Now, in this course specifically, where we're doing testing, IntelliJ Ultimate isn't going to be as important as it is in my Spring courses, where I'm doing a lot of Spring stuff. We are going to get into Spring in this course for sure, but all the stuff that's being supported for Java, JUnit, and others, that's going to be built into the IntelliJ Community Edition. But as we get into the Spring stuff is not in the Community Edition, so that's where that's going to become more important. And then if I always get asked, what about Eclipse? If you're using Eclipse or a different Java IDE, all source code is IDE agnostic. I do not tie to a specific IDE. You should be able to check that out. Everything's going to be driven off of Maven or Gradle. The reason I use IntelliJ is because it is supported, and it is the #1 IDE. It is taking a lot of market share away from Eclipse right now, and is very popular with companies. And if you are interested in getting a trial license, please check out section 1 of the course. There will be a link in there for you to get your own currently 120-day trial license to IntelliJ Ultimate. And then finally, when you do join the Slack community or ask for the free trial to IntelliJ, you'll also get on my Spring Framework Guru newsletter several times a week. I'll send you out informational emails about Spring, history of Spring, interesting blog posts, and occasionally tales from the trenches. So things that have happened in just a little funny tales from my coding experiences and my development as a developer. And if you haven't done either one of those, if you want to go over to my website, springframework.guru, more than welcome to sign up for my newsletter. So just in summary, number 1, do the course. I can't emphasize that enough. Please do the course, and hopefully you enjoy it and leave me an awesome review. I do put a lot of work into the courses, and I think you can get a lot out of them. Number 2 is to fork the GitHub repositories and follow along with the code examples. Actually doing the code examples does bring you a lot of advantages. Join the Slack community. The collaboration is awesome. It's going to build. There'll be more and more people in there. So even if I'm not online, there will be somebody there, hopefully, to interact with you and help you out if you run into help or just want to say hi. And then finally, check out the free trial to IntelliJ Ultimate. And then I also mentioned my newsletter with a ton of great information on it.